Hey there, Start here. Not much else to do, and I was just kind of bored, and I was just thinking. I pulled a Sophie on the ad summons the other day, and it got me to thinking, hey, I finally have like a leader for my NV plus Tifa that's not lightning. So Sophie's a very competent water leader with an 1100% leader skill outside of Clash of Wills for all water units. That includes Clash of Wills water and Clash of Wills support units, and then a 1200 inside Clash of Wills. Now, 1100% outside of Clash of Wills is quite significant in for a water team. So if you are going for water teams, Sophie's certainly a good choice. I'm not going for a water team personally. I just happened to pull her on ad summons. So I thought I would see what I could do against Sephiroth. Turns out I can do a 3-turn clear of Sephiroth EXT. It does require a friend NV plus Tifa. So luckily I have one on my friends list here. Thank you, Kaladin, for this awesome Tifa. So here's the party that I'm using. There are some swaps that you can do here. Most notably, you can swap Saz and Vanille. If you have Ong and Metzi, very, very clear swaps that you can make right there. Obviously, putting Metzi in place of Vanille for the Breaker and the Imperils, the Imperil field, and obviously Ong in place of Saz for the Water Amp field. I have neither of those units, so I'm having to use the poor man's version of a Water Breaker, Imperiler, and Water Amp buffer. If you have Saz and Metzi, you should be able to follow this guide and do probably considerably more damage than what you're seeing here. So keep that in mind. If you're still struggling with this one, maybe this is something you can consider. For me, I'm just having fun. I'm having a little bit of fun because there's nothing else to do in this game, Tifa is the only NV plus unit that I have. And after pulling Sophie, I was like, hey, let's see what kind of shenanigans I can get into. Obviously, you see my Sophie is EX+0. I don't have any shards for her. She is a premium unit, so you can't get shards on the banner or anything like that. She is in my shard dungeon, but it's going to be a while before she ever hits EX2, which is where she kind of gets a lot of her important skills. She's literally just here for the leader skill and to do some chaining. Tifa is the big damage here. Melissa is here obviously for the human killer buff. She's also got some support skills in the kit that will help keep everybody alive. Vanille's our breaker. Saz is our buffer. Okay, we can take a quick look at the gear. The gear is kind of relevant for this clear. As you can see, we don't have any kind of magic tank, and we can get away with that because it is only a 3-turn clear. So we're not taking any non-elemental magic damage in this fight. It's all elemental. It's all either fire or earth elementals. So we can build against that with resists to fire and earth. So Vanille is going to be our provoke unit. You could honestly make any of the support units your provoke unit. So if you'd rather build Saz for support or Melissa for your provoke unit, it doesn't matter. But your provoke unit needs to have 100% physical evasion, and they need to have 130% to fire and earth. The reason why 130 is because Melissa does a 70% buff, and Sephiroth does a 100% imperil on turn 2. Now, I can't remember if the Imperil comes before or after the damage. It might honestly not be relevant to have 130, but I did it just to be safe. You could probably get away with just 30% so that Melissa, buffs the other 70%. But I think on turn 1, the boss dispels our buffs, and then we'll do a bunch of single target earth elemental attacks. So I think Vanille still needs to have 100% at least earth resist, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, that's how my Vanille is built for 100% physical evasion, and 130 fire and earth. Ailments is not as important, so you could take off that Isle of Chocobos. That's not as important because we have Melissa on the party. That was for another clear. This card was just on her because in some previous test runs, I needed the guts, but now I don't need it, so yeah, that's irrelevant. Just 100% fire and earth, 100% provoke, and 100% evasion. That's all you need. Melissa, I put Blizzard Orbs on her because I wanted her to counter, but then I realized we're resisting all the damage, so she's not going to counter, so that's irrelevant. It honestly doesn't matter. Melissa can be whatever, as long as she has, again, 100% fire, because the fire magic damage is AoE, the earth damage is single target. So everybody needs to have fire resist, but not everybody needs earth resist. Only your provoke unit needs earth resist, okay? So my Tifa in normal form just needs some form of preemptive LB boost. The rest of the gear is irrelevant, so I've got Titus's garb. You could use preemptive LB boost materia. That's all she needs in her normal form. In her Brave Shift form, full on damage, just using all my best gear, 2 of her STMRs, some Clash gear, Kaiser Knuckles. And then in her Brave Shift form, she hits Human Killer super easily, especially if you've got Indomitable Warrior, so plenty of room to throw some Esper stats in there to get her over 26,000 attack. That's pretty sweet. And I am using the best vision card that I have for her. If you don't have this one, you can use the free water card. All right, it's literally a 150 difference of attack, but I wanted to get my attack over 26,000, so this vision card does that because it's got that extra 150 flat attack on it. So yeah, she's ready to rock and roll. She's got 300 human, 300 LB ready to go. Saz, he can be irrelevant. This gear is just, this is like his DV, my favorited DV gear that I have on him. But yeah, so he does, you know, he does benefit from preemptive LB boost, but his damage is pretty irrelevant here, so don't really worry about that too much. He does not need to be EX2. He honestly doesn't even need to be EX1, because I mean, really, he's just here for he's really just here for his field, which is in his normal form. So he can be EX0, and then he can just do some bolting strike chaining on turn 3. So that's perfectly fine. Sophie, she's also fairly irrelevant. Fire resist is pretty key to keep everybody alive. I had built her for damage at some point. I just wanted to see what she was doing, but that's irrelevant. So this vision card is irrelevant. She's just purely here as a support unit, as a chainer, and for the leader skill. So just make sure she has fire resist, and she should be good to go. Now my friend Tifa unit, it was not built specifically for this. This was not like a request and they built the Tifa for me, but it was built quite nicely. So it does have Titus Garb in the normal form, double Kaiser Knuckles, some fairly high attack gear here, not filled out in the materials, but as you're going to see, that's okay. She hits Human Killer innately, full LB damage boost. That's all that we really need. Okay. So here's the team. Let's get in here. Let's see how we do this in 3 turns. All right, so Vanille is going to go ahead and do her breaks. Fissure Field, Short Circuit, so the boss at least has some attack and mag breaks. All right, Saz is going to do Put Me Behind the Wheel, followed by Double Slash. All right, Sophie, she's going to do Quad. We're going to do In Waterga to make sure we imbue. What's his face, Saz. And then we are going to do Double Watera to chain with Saz, and then we'll end with. I mean, it honestly doesn't really matter what she ends with. What should we end with? It honestly doesn't matter. Let's just do Rainforest spell, I guess. Okay. Melissa, most importantly, is going to do Shared Immunity so that everyone is resistant to fire. She's going to do Human Killer on my Tifa, because my Tifa is technically stronger. And then as the third action, it can honestly be anything. Take your pick. We'll just do Shelga for the fun of it. Okay. So I'm going to send them. We're going to Brave Shift both for Tifas. We're going to do a fairly sizable chunk of damage here on turn 1, but the timing can be a little bit tricky. So obviously Saz and Sophie need to go first, so I'm going to tap them and then very quickly afterwards tap the 2 Tifas. So that way their final hits land within the bolting strike chain that Saz and Sophie are going to build up. Okay, so let's do that. There we go. Nice chunk of change there. Perfect, about 5 billion. So Sephiroth has 15 billion HP, which means we only need to do 10 billion now to finish him off. So we will need 1 turn to set up. All right, so we'll do our buff, amp, and then just hit the boss. Sophie can do in water good again because we've been dispelled. She'll do Rain Force, Incremental, and I don't know, as my parents' daughter for the Rod Imperil, I guess. Melissa will now do shared immunity again. Make sure to put up our fire resist buffs again. Minutes of Might for the buffs. And then Human Killer on my Tifa again. We'll make sure and get the other Tifa next turn. All right, Unbridled Water Chi Trap. Okay, yeah, we'll do like a little bit of damage here, I guess. Why not? So we'll just do triple annihilating. Yeah, every little bit helps. Saz can shift. If yours is only EX+0, he doesn't have to. This is just, you know, just to give Saz something. Eidolon, start your engines and slash. I guess, oh, we can do double slash, can't we? Okay, perfect. All right. So I'll, yeah, just to chain up and do like a little bit of damage here, I guess. Could do like 2 or 3, yeah. So now we have to do only like 9.5 billion to finish this guy off, which should be very easy to do. You see we're resisting all the magic damage. Sephiroth has put up 1 stack of Mirage, so we do have to get rid of that before we can do any damage. So Vanille is still going to do triple bolting strike. Saz will do his LB. Sophie just does triple Watera to chain with Saz. Melissa, all she has to do is do the Human Killer on Friend. And our Tifas just do their LB. And this is going to, this will certainly kill the boss from here. Just make sure you tap Vanille first to get rid of that 1 stack of Mirage. Then you send, then what I'm going to do is I'll send the Tifas and Saz and Sophie just to make sure, you know, 100% sure that the Tifas fall in the chain. All right, so Vanille, Tifas, Saz, Sophie. And there you go. 3 turns to kill the man, the myth, the legend, Sephiroth himself. There you go, 12.5. Well done, Tifa. Now, you know, of course, this is not a clear that everyone's going to be able to pull off. But like I said, if you have Metzi and what's his name, Ong, you know, if you're kind of like building a water team, then you could easily pull this off, I think. So yeah, there are the Tifas. The Tifa's doing all the damage, obviously. Mine being just a little bit stronger and doing that little bit more damage on the turn 1 burst. You know, having the 250 killer on turn 1. But yeah, Envy plus Tifa, taking it home in 3 turns, easy peasy. So yeah, that's all I wanted to show you guys. It was just something I was having fun, just kind of playing around with. Just figured I'd share it with you guys, and you know, just something, something to do, something to watch while we twiddle our thumbs waiting for Clash of Wills. I will do a prepping for Clash of Wills video probably. I honestly haven't even started preparing ideas for a team for the upcoming Clash. I'm not sure if I'm going to do lightning or light element. I definitely don't have a water team that I can field. I just don't have the water units to do it, but I could theoretically do a light or a lightning team. Just depends on which elements are going to be the main weaknesses, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So thank you so much for following me, and I will see you on the other side.